Our next task is to stylize the header with a title and a subtitle. And if you look at my About Me page, I have my header up here. And inside of my header, I have a title and a subtitle on every single one of my web pages. So we need to add that to our web page. And since this is going to be used on every page, this is going to be represented by a class. And this one as well is going to be represented by a class. So we can come in here and let's go ahead and do the About Me portion first. So we're going to make a class, which is a dot main text, and we can put the parentheses and say font size, and we can maybe say 60 pixels and save that. Notice down here there's an ID main text, and you might be thinking, well, we have the same name, but that doesn't matter because this one here is an ID and this one here is a class, so there's no problem with that. And if we go to the About Me page, we're going to come in here and we're going to come into the header after the title on the top left corner, and after the links we're going to add another div class and set it equal to main text. Type in About Me in all caps, come here and close our div, and we go ahead and save that. Come back to our web page and refresh it, and you can see this is what we see. The font looks good, the padding looks a little bit off, so let me go back here and come into the styles.css, and if you remember, we put in a bottom padding on the header of 250 pixels. So if we take that away and come back in and we refresh, that's what we get. So that is not looking so good to me, so I'm going to put in a bottom padding that matches this space up here. So let's see, how much is that? Maybe we could say 30 pixels. We'll refresh. That looks pretty good. And now what? Well, we want to get the About Me centered on the page, and so to do that, it might be helpful to take a look and see what this box looks like and what this box looks like. So let me come back in here, and inside of this box let's add the B color. Oh, do we still have the B color class? Yes, we do. So it's an ID. So let's come back in here and we will say ID equals B color and save that. Come here and refresh. Okay, so that's that, and let's come and see what the nav looks like. Come back in here outside of the double quotes and type that, save that, refresh. Yeah, so I guess it's not too obvious why the About Me is off center by looking at the colors of the boxes above it. But one way that we can fix it is we can add a container around this. Okay, so let's come back in here, and before the main text portion we can say div class equals container, and of course every container has to have the 12 box div boxes, so we'll say class is equal to 12 columns, and we'll tab these in. We can copy the closing div, put one here and there, and we'll save it and refresh. Okay, so now it's looking good because it's in its own div box, and we can go ahead and say ID equals B color just to see what is going on here, and I'll refresh, and you can see here is my container with my 12 column div box inside of it. And so now all we need to do to get this guy in the middle is to center it, right? So let's go into the main text style sheet class here, and we'll say text align center, save that, refresh it, and there we go. Right? You might be thinking there's too much space up here, right? And one way we can fix that is we can come into the main text and we can say padding top, and we can add a negative pixel. Okay, so we can say negative 30 pixels. Whoa, and we'll save that, come over here and refresh. Oh, that doesn't work. Actually, padding is the amount of space that's inside of the box. Margin is the space that's outside of the box. So that's what we want to use here. Margin top negative 30 pixels. So we'll come in here and we'll refresh, and you can see I got this to move up by a negative amount. Maybe I want to move it up a little bit more, so I'm going to say -40, and so that looks pretty good. Let me take away the red background color so that we can see it a little bit more clearly. Delete that ID, come back over here and refresh. That looks pretty good. It looks like we might have to adjust this title over here and maybe do the same little trick. And so which one is that? That is title, class title. So I'm going to come and find my class title, and maybe I can move it up a little bit by saying margin top -10 pixels. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to match it up with the links here. Maybe a little bit more, so maybe -20 pixels. Refresh. That looks good to me. Yeah, that looks great. So, and the about me, it looks like I need to, because what I'm looking for is to match the amount of space here with the amount of space here. So I still want to push the about me up a little bit. So if I go back up to the main text class, I can maybe push it up 50 pixels, and I'll refresh that. No, maybe I do 60 pixels, and I'll refresh that. That looks good to me. So there we go. And of course I want to probably make that bigger because it's bigger on my web page, and I want to add a Google font, right? So what do I need to do? Let's see. I'm going to change that back to 60, change my font size up to 70, and I'll refresh. So you know how to make the Google fonts go. Implement the Google fonts on your website, and now we got to add the subtitle, right? And so the subtitle is pretty simple. We just go ahead and grab this guy. We will paste it here. We will add our subtitle text. Save that. We'll make a new class called subtext. And in your styles.css, you'll stylize it the way that you want. The general rule here is the subtext should be a little bit smaller than the main text, right? And so that's what we're going to do. And of course, you got to center this. So good luck with that.